I've put together a whole bunch of different things that pertain to the watch that we're currently in. We're looking at the full Hunter Harvest Supermoon that's supposed to take place on the 7th of October. That will also be the Feast of Tabernacles. So I wanted to come on here and cover a bunch of things. There's some very, very interesting things, and I can't wait to tell you guys about what I found and leave the world behind. So stick with me. I'm going to try to get through each thing fairly quickly so this video doesn't go on too long. So we're going to start with something I posted the other day, which was a collage. Well, no, I made a collage, but this is what I wanted to show you here. So this is Stellarium. This is Stellarium for October 7th. And we see Pisces here, which is a V. And you see the two fish and the what some people call Rapture fish cord. And the moon will be right on the cord on the 7th. Now, Tabernacles runs from October 7th to October 13th. So there is a bit of a window there, but we're going to stay focused on October 6th into the 7th, 7th into the 8th, based on time zone. So let's get started. I posted this the other day in my community post, and I just wanted to show you this on Stellarium, and it shows 99% right here at this time on the 7th of October. So the 99, I only wanted to point that out because in Back to the Future, we see the smoke in the air after the DeLorean takes off and disappears into another time zone or time frame, and it shows the 99 in the sky. So this is Obama here with the V on his head. In the scene, he's sweating, but that also looks like the fish cord here. And this is an older picture of Obama from around 2018 or so, possibly earlier. And I saved this for years, and here he is with the V hand sign there. At the time, I believed he was signaling victory for something shady that he was working on, and I just thought it might apply here as well. So we're going to move on from that. It's funny because the same day that I posted that community post, I went to lunch right before work, and this is what I saw while in the restaurant. I couldn't believe it. So take it with a grain of salt, but I don't know. Is God speaking? Sometimes I think he is. Okay, so we're going to move on. There's recently been some chatter about a new Gen Z slang term. It's called 6'7". What the heck does 6'7" mean? And I think it just means mediocre. You know, out of a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 6'7". But the numbers are very interesting, especially since that was in the news last week. And then we're going to move forward to the economist Apple. This. So say goodbye to 1.5C. And down here, I looked it up. Apples are ripe and widely available in Jerusalem during September and October. So another way I'm looking at this right now is that this might be showing that the fruit is ripe. So I looked up a few different verses here about ripe fruits and harvesting. So that's pretty interesting to me. And we're going to come back to this a little bit later. So maybe this is saying that the fruit is ripe during the Hunter full moon. That's what that looks like to me. But we'll come back to it in a bit. Next, one of the comments on my last video pointed this out. I did not know about it, but now that I'm here, I'm going to show it to you. Echo and the Bunny Men, they had their music group album called The Killing Moon. And here, when you look it up on IMDb, it says the Killing Moon here appears against images of a harvest moon. Very interesting. Now we're going to move down here. Okay, so the constellation Orion represents the hunter. And this is the constellation right here. And in Back to the Future, there's a scene where the DeLorean hits 88 miles an hour and disappears, raptured, whatever, disappears into another realm. And I just wanted to put this together here because it looks like Doc, the way he has his hands, looks like the Orion. And then it looks like the shield here. It looks like his hand up here. And then I was looking at this, and I put this together, and if you have the 6 and 1 1, you have an 8 there. So maybe that's pointing towards October, because Oct is 8 on a 10-year calendar. So I wanted to point some other stuff out from Back to the Future. Here's that 99 I was talking about in the sky when I showed you the stellarium. And in Back to the Future, I was looking at the dashboard, and I found some interesting stuff. So here are these clues for finding the 911 in October date. So here we already have October, and then this looks like a 911, but 2 and 6 is also 8, so you have October 8. And then when you add 1, 9, 8, and 5, you get 23. So September 23rd was the Feast of Trumpets that we were looking at. And then if you go over here, 1, 2, and 1, that makes a 13. So 13 days later would get us to October 7th. So I found that pretty interesting. Or October 8th, like I said, time zone permitting. So I thought this was interesting here. And we'll move on. What do I have next? Leave the World Behind. Here we go. So this stuff is pretty important. So here, this is the poster for Leave the World Behind, and it has the buck on it. And the buck is the primary animal that people go out and hunt. So maybe this is reflecting the hunter moon, which is the same moon as the harvest moon this year, and it's a super moon. So this may blow your mind. I think I figured this scene out. We're going to look at this. So you see the two calendars here, and the one light on, one light off. So there's 13 stars in a circle. It looks like an O for October. And 13 days later, 6th into the 7th, is the Feast of Tabernacles. So September 24th, right before the moon sliver was sighted at Feast of Trumpets. And then here you have October 7th, the harvest hunter moon. But then you have this cup, which gives you the date of 7/6, or 6 or 7 rather. And then here on the clock, you've got the hands on 6 and 7. So I found that very interesting. I think that's what they're showing you in this scene here. Here's a close-up view of that clock, just so you can get a better look at it. Yeah, and it looks like it's on the 6 and the 7. So that was pretty amazing there. And on 8/8, are we going to be out of time? And then we got something else here. Here's a dream that someone had posted on one of my comments in the comment section. A year ago, I had a dream where I was with a group of people looking through a window. In the night sky, there was 2 moons, and one was red, and the other one was like yellow. So red and yellow. And all of a sudden, meteorites started to crash to Earth. And he even knew something about what the rapture was. But we'll move on from that. I just wanted to show you that dream because this is interesting. Okay, so I'm going to show you a clip in iPad Go, but I want to point something out here. Here in the classroom, Lily is standing inside a ring of honey, and she's holding the apple. And apples and honey are associated with Rosh Hashanah. She also has 12 characters behind her. Here's an M for a 13, by the way. But all the 12 characters behind her, like the Revelation 12 sign. And if you flip her dress upside down and change the colors, you can clearly see, it's easier to see when it's smaller, a 23 right here. So we know that this represents the Revelation 12 sign. Also in the classroom, we have this character's head is a moon, and it's attached to the buck. So we always thought it was a buck moon, but maybe it's the hunter moon. Okay, so I want to show you something right here really quick. Here we go. It's just going to be very quick. I just want to show you the connection between something. So here she is. We'll just speed this up a little bit. What am I doing? Okay, so when she drops the apple, it picks up the honey, and that's why we see the dot there, and it rolls over 8 times. And then opens up, and here we have an 8 and an 8, right? The apples are shaped like 8s. And then it forms an 8 for 8 years after the Revelation 12 sign. And you can see the 1 and the 2 right here for 12. So that is something that I've always looked at, and that's what I wanted to show you, because I think what they're showing you here is the same thing. Here we see the apple, like Lily had, and the color of the magazine itself looks like honey. And here we have the hunter moon. Something else that I noticed, say goodbye to 1.5C. If you take the 1 and use this dot as a slash, we can make it 10 for October. 5 plus 3 is 8. Or oct is 8, so 88. So you got your 88 right after Rosh Hashanah. But I think this is honey and that's the apple, just like we see in iPet Goat. Next, there's something else. You see the 2-1 seeds that are, where is it? The 2-1 seeds that are in the apple. This one I'm going to open. Here we go. Okay, so apple rolls 8 times, 2017, Revelation 12 sign, 8 years, 2025, split apple, 88. And then Trump is trying to work out a deal with Hamas, and he's got this 21-point peace plan right here. The 21 points outlined in Trump's Gaza peace proposal. So maybe that's what the 2 seeds, 1 seed means. You know, that's just another observation that I made there. And someone who was in the news, you know, a couple of months ago was Hulk Hogan. HH. His initials are 88. And he's got the gold honey color with the red. So I don't know if they were telegraphing this event coming up with his death. And when the flower blooms, there are 25 petals there. So in my opinion, it happens in 2025. So something else I wanted to show you is this clip right here. I don't know if you've seen this, but this is absolutely incredible. Listen what she says.
Yeah. Overall, I think there's quite a bit of abdication of responsibility around like what are we going to do as people's jobs start being taken fairly aggressively. Luckily, there's a massive population drop coming, so.
What did she say?
Population drop. There's a massive population drop coming, so maybe everything is just fate and it's going to work out okay. But I feel like we might get like very, very, very good AI across every pillar of art before there aren't any more people to make art.
Well, that's pretty telling, isn't it? That's crazy. Okay, so we're going to move on from that. The other day, this was a post that Trump made. Don't fear the Reaper, but I want to show you something crazy. Look at the timestamp. The video is 1 minute and 7 seconds, like 10-7, the day we're looking at. So when we play this, I'm going to speed it up, but I just want to show you something. Look at when we get close to 42 seconds. It says, you won't be able to fly. And that happens at 42 seconds. Like the Antichrist is going to rule for 42 months. I think that's absolutely insane. So you guys can look that up on your own. And what else do I have for you? I got all this written down. Okay, so I also saw this. Kamala Harris. Look at this stuff. So she's on a book tour. 10-7, 107 days. Here it is again in your face. And what a coincidence. She's going to be at the Masonic in San Francisco, and the Tabernacle in Atlanta, Georgia. Very, very interesting. What else do I have for you? I've got... Here's just something else I saw. So here, October 5 and 6, the moon meets Saturn in the sky, and in The Simpsons we see when Homer gets raptured, Saturn in the sky. Right? Here's our harvest moon, October 6th into the 7th, and this is the Jägermeister, with the hunter moon and the Christ symbol appearing in the sky. Is that a rapture reference? I guess we'll find out very soon. Something else I saw, there's a Gorillas video. I think it's called 19 to 200. And the number 13, which is the difference, but that we were looking at for the Julian calendar that leads us to October 7th. And you see Taylor Swift, you see Illuminati card game. And in this video here, the guy in the car has got a 13 on his sleeve, or on his shoulder. And then down here we get September 7, 23 starting point. And I was just looking at this, 149, and then 10 and 1 is 160, and 1 and 6 is 7 for September. And then up here, and then you see the 23s. Then up here, 23 with salvation exit in view. Adding the 2 and 11, we see yet again another 13. And this is all within the same video. So I found that also interesting. And here's another thing. Sorry, guys. This is the Gorillas Rupture. And 2025, adding the numbers. These numbers here. You get 0, 1, or flip it, and you got a 10 for October. And then add the 3, the 2, and the 1. Right, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you got 10, 8 for October 8th, or 88 if you're looking at it that way as well. It's another thing I found very interesting here. This was another thing that was in another video, but they made sure they got this in camera shot so they could show it to us. And I think that's it, guys. I'm hoping this happens in the next couple of days. And if not, keep your faith and keep looking up, because we know we're getting there. We're getting close. It feels like it. Oh, I didn't show you this. This is important. Hunt or be hunted. This is the Jägermeister commercial. I just want to show you one quick thing. Watch this. The guy's in a club. He sees the buck shadow, like the hunter moon. And when this guy moves his head, you see the sliver of the hunter moon. That's the starting point. Now, as the video moves along, he goes up the stairs and he sees the buck and looks up, and there's the full hunter moon right there. So, very interesting stuff, guys. I just wanted to show you those things. If you have any great comments, please leave them below. I'm doing my best with these videos. I'm trying not to, pause too much and say too many times. I'm not really the type of person to do these kind of things, but I am watching for the Lord like everyone else is, and I pray that everyone is covered in the blood of Jesus Christ, because I want to go home and I want to meet you all in the air. God bless.